Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake, and like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
Don't doubt me, I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Lebanon, half a pound, headshot, dead. That's it.
There's guys out there that are doing this day in and day out. They live and breathe this stuff that they don't get the recognition or credit that they deserve.
Is the secret to fighting?
Not being a fucking pussy. Honestly, you can teach anybody how to fight. But like, if you're a fucking pussy, that's a really hard thing to teach someone not to be.
Okay, so let's get to the main card. I mean, I'll go through my picks. I'll go one by one. I kind of think that some are going to shock you, some aren't going to shock you. But starting the night off, Anthony Hernandez, Roman Kopylov. I am going Kopylov by TKO KO.
I like
or
that
money
pick.
line. Depends on which one you want to choose. I mean, the value's in the money line. I like him a lot better. I think he is definitely an up and comer. He's 12
This is
and
a
2,
big.
11
This is
knockouts.
big.
Yeah.
So he's
The guy is
12 and
fucking
2 with
good.
11 knockouts. Yeah, he's 12 and 2 with 11 knockouts. I think
mean,
that's
don't get me
huge.
wrong. Anthony Hernandez is good. I mean, he's a
For
good
sure.
fighter.
He's
dude.
11 and 2 also, yeah.
But I think Kopylov has the advantage here. I think the odds are a little shaky, but I like him. He has the striking advantage for sure. And I think he gets it done. Yeah, look at that. I mean,
I know.
92% the submission. So if and his ground game has improved over the years. He used to have a shaky takedown defense, but now his takedown defense is almost like
92%.
I know. So like it started out shaky, and now he's like one of the better people with takedown defense. So
Yeah.
like I think with that in his hand, I think he's going to take it. I'm going to go with Kopylov by either TKO KO or by the straight money line, no matter what. But I do think he gets it done within the second round. I would go.
I love it. I agree.
So that's my pick for that. All right. This one, I've been 50-50
This is
on
so
this one.
close. Yeah.
I've been 50-50 on this one from the beginning, man. And I'm going to say this. I'm just going to go right into it. I'm taking Henry Cejudo by decision.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I like Merab, and I was sold on Merab beating Cejudo. And the more I got to thinking about it, the more I watched fights from Cejudo. Obviously, it's so hard to gauge. And this is what I want a lot of people to understand, too. It's like when you're capping fights and stuff, you know, I'm not the greatest capper in the world because my record doesn't show for it. I don't win money. I lose bets all the time. But I'm not an idiot, and I know fighting. So you can't really judge a fighter. You can't cap a fighter whose last fight before his last fight was like 2 years before that.
Right.
Because in the world of MMA, that shit is so like 6 months off and a year off is like night and day in the MMA world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's completely different. So you got a guy like Merab who goes out, takedowns Piotr Jan a million times and edges out a decision. And then you got a guy like Henry Cejudo who gets off the couch, unretires, goes and fights for the belt against arguably the best champion in that division ever, and edges out a decision and puts up a damn close fight against Aljamain Sterling, who was also a weight bully. So
because Henry Cejudo also fought at fucking flyweight, so he's not a huge bantamweight, right? Like if he was able to make that cut down to 125, he's not Aljo being a huge 135 pounder.
Exactly. And I think with his wrestling ability and his wrestling skill, I think it's going to be really tough for Merab to pressure a guy like him because pressuring Cejudo is his defense, his takedown defense, and his ability to scramble is there. You know, he scrambled with flyweights his whole entire career, essentially. You know, so a guy like him, that's nothing new. So he's used to that fast-paced go type fight style. So I think if he can, and he knows that going in, because if there's one thing that the MMA community knows, if you've watched MMA for a long time, there's only like 3 or 4 people in the whole entire MMA world who are very analytical when it comes down to watching fights, learning styles, and prepping into going into their fights. One being John Jones is one of those guys, and Henry Cejudo is just right there behind him, in my opinion, as one of those guys who studies the art and studies everything that his opponent is bringing. So for that reason, I'm taking Cejudo by decision. And I could be wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. Merab might go out there and just fucking blast double leg fucking 100 times, and Cejudo might get overwhelmed. But I just don't see that happening, man. I think Cejudo's going to find a way to edge it out, and I think he's going to get the win. So
I agree.
and I got sold on that just going back and watching the Aljo fight, where he was able to get in on Aljo too and land overhands, like overhand rights on Aljo. He was able to get inside Aljo. He was able to take Aljo down. Like there were
Right.
things Cejudo was doing coming off the couch unretired that after a 2-year gap, you know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's like, and now he's in the gym. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's a little troll, and a lot of people think like, a lot of people talk a lot of shit about him, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I think he
Yep.
edges it out, but I
I
could be
think he
wrong.
does too.
So, all right, man.
I do
Ian
think
Gary.
I will say this too, based off of I've been watching some of the UFC embeddeds that they come out with every day, fight week leading up to Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
I do think that if he loses to Merab, you don't see Cejudo fight again. I
No, I
think
don't.
I
I
think
agree.
if he loses to Merab, he's done.
I agree.
Because he obviously knows at that point that a title is not in question, and he's not. He stated today in the episode
I'm
that I
only
watched.
here. Yeah,
I'm
he's like,
only
I'm only
here.
here for
I'm
the
not
title.
here. Yeah, I'm not here to be a fighter. I'm
Yep.
here to win. So
Yep.
if
I
he
agree.
doesn't think he can win that title, I think that's it, and that's what we've
I
seen from
mean,
Henry Cejudo. But dude, he was a double champ at one time. I mean,
dude,
he's had a
you got
fantastic
you
career.
got to give credit where it's due. Cejudo was a double champ. He's an Olympic gold
Gold
medalist. The guy
medalist.
was one of only 8 people to hold the belt twice, like
Yep.
like 2 belts. So I mean, you got to give him credit. He's a little cringe lord, but the motherfucker's good, and he knows the sport, and he's very athletic. So, yeah, this one's gonna break my heart to say this. Ian Gary's gonna knock Jeff Neal the fuck out.
You think?
Yeah, I've
Okay, so
thought
you're
about it long
changing
and
your
hard.
tone a little bit.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, dude. And as much as I really hope Jeff Neal knocks him out, which is very possible, very possible. I mean,
Yep.
dude, but I think Ian Gary knows 1 or 2 things. One, he is definitely a rising star in the UFC. The whole world
For
knows
sure.
this.
He's 13-0.
He's a prospect. He's a hell of a prospect.
Yep.
He's talked a lot of shit. If he doesn't back it up, I mean, and this is going to go for another fighter tonight too. If he doesn't back this up, dude, he is going to lose a lot of credibility and respect that
Of
he
course.
has earned up to this point.
Of
So
course.
he needs to get back into the fan favorite, like we like, oh fuck yeah, Ian Gary's a badass. Because you know how MMA fans do. They'll switch on somebody and go
Oh,
real quick
yeah.
overnight. Dude. Like
100%.
they'll talk shit about Ian Gary, and then he goes out there and lays Jeff Neal out in 30 seconds, and now all of a sudden he's the
Yep.
number 1 prospect in the world,
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think Ian Gary's gonna win. I think he finishes Jeff Neal. I think he's gonna control the distance. I think if Ian Gary was smart, he would go back and watch that Shavkat fight and realize where Shavkat messed up and how he got rocked and how he,
Yeah.
got hurt and things like that. And then Jeff Neal, I think, in the point of Jeff Neal's career, he is a little at aged where he's experienced, he's a veteran. But then again, I mean, we just saw what Neil Magny did to Mike Malott.
Yep.
I mean, and Ian Gary made Neil Magny look like a chump, dude.
Yeah, he
I mean,
did.
I understand Neil Magny took it on short notice, but I think Ian Gary edges this one out. I do.
I
I'm not
agree.
even gonna say Jeff Neal, even though I'm taking Jeff Neal by knockout on the money. So
Yeah.
let's fucking
So
ride,
sprinkle
baby.
a little money on that.
Yeah, I'm
I agree
sprinkling
with
every
you.
person that I'm going against, I'm sprinkling money on. So
I agree a little. I agree with the Ian Gary. I don't know how he's gonna win. I don't know if he's gonna be able to knock out Jeff Neal. Jeff
I
Neal's
think he
tough as
does.
fuck.
He is. But then like I said,
Could be a decision. Like this one to me feels like it's gonna be a decision. I don't know if he knocks out Jeff Neal, but
dude, he could
either
have knocked
way,
out Neil Magny, dude.
well, he
He
definitely
coulda.
could have. He almost like chose not to. He almost
He
like
did.
chose to continue beating him up.
So, all right.
Your co-main event of the evening.
The co-main event of the evening. Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa. So I'm a big fan of Paulo Costa. I've always liked Paulo Costa. And I've always liked his just brute energy and brute force. I mean, he's a stamina god. The guy's built like a fucking super soldier, and his striking and his fighting skills are good, man. Like Paulo Costa is good as shit. The only thing is he's that guy that once you find his flaws, they're easy to pick apart. So it's really gonna take Whitaker, the old Whitaker that we know, not the Whitaker that just got beat up by DDP, but we're gonna have to dive into the Whitaker Izzy like style Whitaker before we see him beat Paulo Costa. And even then, I think, dude, I'm gonna say this because I think Robert Whitaker has the better chance to win. I think he's in the same scenario as Henry Cejudo, kind of. Not saying
Yeah.
that, but like if he loses to Paulo Costa, like Whitaker might hit that he may have hit that skid mark in his career where it's just going to go downhill from there.
Yep.
But then again, Paulo Costa, if he wins, now you're talking about a guy who's coming off of a win, takes a break, obviously, never left fight camp. He's been in fight camp for over a year. He's 2 fights have been like booked. They weren't available. You're supposed to fight Hamzat. Didn't happen.
Right.
But there's I like the odds at -205. I think those are almost like perfect. And I think if Paulo Costa can control if he can, I think this is a decision fight. Let's just put it that way. I think this goes to decision, and it's going to be 1 or 2 reasons why. It's going to be one, because Whitaker, I don't think is going to knock out Paulo Costa. He's going to try his hardest not to stand with Paulo Costa. But if Paulo Costa can keep him up, who knows? Maybe Costa knocks him out. But
I was gonna say this might be like a very similar looking fight to the Dricus du Plessis and Robert Whitaker fight.
yeah, true.
Both have really good takedown defense. They don't take people down much either. Like they stand.
So
For somebody that's
like it in favor of Whitaker standing up. And
yeah,
I think
I
Whitaker
just
can outstrike him, but I just don't. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it.
I think if
I
it
really am.
goes, I think this is a 5-round fight.
It's a 3-round fight.
Okay, if this goes the distance, I think it favors Whitaker.
I do too. That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
think
what I was
Paulo
saying.
Costa's best chance to win is obviously going to be
In the distance.
Yeah, is going to be a knockout and getting him done quick.
I agree.
If it ends up going the distance, I think the fight in that sense favors Robert Whitaker.
I agree. Yeah, that my pick for that, I think I'm going to go Whitaker by decision.
Okay.
But I'm also going to bet Paulo Costa by TKO.
I like it.
So,
fade yourself a little bit. All right, main event time, baby. Lock in.
Yeah,
Look at the odds. Look how the odds have moved.
Yeah, I'm locked in, and
the odds have moved crazy on this.
I'm locked in, and I'm fully confident in my decision.
Yep.
I'm looking this camera dead in the camera. The GOAT will succeed. Alexander Volkanovski, 4th round TKO over Ilia Topuria. There you go.
4th round TKO.
4th round TKO. They're going to bang. They're going to fill each other out in the first round. Yep. Second round's going to be a scrap. Third round's going to be a grappling exchange. 4th round, Ilya's going to fucking start to fade. And Volkanovski's going to find that fucking mark. And that's it. Game over. 4th round TKO, Volk. Calling it now. If he loses, fuck me. But if he wins, suck my dick.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. I'm not fading Volk. There's no way you're getting me to do it. The guy is the greatest featherweight of all time. The guy's never lost a featherweight fucking fight before. He's arguably one of the smartest, he's one of the best fighters ever. And I mean, Topuria's beaten fucking Josh Emmett, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, man. It's just hard to convince me that he's going to be able to go in there and walk through Volk. It's just hard to believe.
Yeah, I don't know that he goes in there and walks through Volk. Yeah,
Well, the way
I don't.
he thinks he's going to, dude. And
Yeah,
if we've learned anything, dude, that is not the approach you want to take with a guy of that caliber, man. Like, it's not a smart idea to take that approach because we see it all the time. We saw it. Look, Colby Covington, I'm going to fuck Leon up. I'm a blah, blah, blah. Goes in there and looks like a pussy.
yeah,
You know, you see it all the time. The guys who talk all that shit, the second they get locked in the cage with the guy and they look across the fucking octagon and they're like, you know what? This guy's fucking defended his belt for the last what, 8 years, 7 years. This guy's been the champion.
mm-hmm.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yep, we're gonna have to see, man. It's gonna be
Man. And
it's gonna be a fucking good one.
The only reason that people are giving Topuria the edge is because Volk got knocked out by Islam. That is it, dude. If Volk would have never fought Islam the second time, and this fight was scheduled right after he came back and beat Yair and got his belt again,
Yep.
everyone this line would be minus 250 plus 200 or plus 180.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, we did say that on the episode that came out Monday, as well. Like, I think that a reason Topuria is getting a lot of the favoritism he is by fans and by people predicting the matchup is because of Volk coming off a knockout loss.
Yeah.
And not really looking like himself. I think age plays a factor. You're looking at him like, oh, well, he's 35 now, you know. But, you know, he didn't have a camp, and there's a lot of things to be considered with that loss. So, yeah, I'm excited for it, though.
Yeah,
I mean, no
I'm
matter
super
what.
stoked for it too, man. I mean, I really hope because I would love to see Volk win one more time. I mean, let him win one more, beat every single prospect that's ever crossed your path. If he beats Ilia Topuria, I call me crazy, but if he does, he's top 3 best fighters ever in the history of the sport.